everybody, and welcome to Assembly today. I wanted to share with you one of my favourite stories called My Big Shouting Day. Yesterday I woke up and Bob was crawling around my room, licking my jewellery. So I shouted, "Get out of my room!" And that was the start of my big shouting day. Then I came downstairs and saw that egg. I cried and said, "I can't eat that." And Mummy said, "You could eat it last week. Look at Bob eating his mashed banana." After the terrible egg, I didn't like my shoes either. So I took them off all by myself, shouting, "No shoes." And then we had to go shopping, and Mummy said, "Please stop wriggling, Bella." But I couldn't stop wriggling, and I shouted, "Get me out!" Mummy said, "You will give Bob an earache, and you're giving me a headache." And Bob poked me and said, "Ear." At lunchtime, Sasha and her mummy came to play and have some peanut butter and grapes and a biscuit. But my biscuit broke. Then I couldn't play nicely. I kept saying, "No, you can't be a princess." And in the end, Sasha and her mummy went home. In the afternoon, it was my ballet lesson. I said, "Ballet is too itchy." But I was a bit loud, and Mrs. Clark stopped playing the piano, and Miss Louisa said, "Dear, oh dear, perhaps you should sit in the corner then." On the way home, we met the lady who lives next door, and she said that Bob was the sweetest thing she'd seen all day. And then she said, "And how is Bella?" I was a long way behind, so I had to shout, "I have a hurting foot." And Mummy said I could keep my voice down, and please could I stop lying on the pavement. But then it was time for my tea and my bath. But those peas were too hot, and the bath was too cold. And I was too wet, and it was too minty. After that, I rolled and said, "No bed, no, 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 no bed, no, no." And Mummy said, "Well, I think someone needs to go to bed." But I rolled all over my room, and then I rolled into Bob's room, and I said, "Bed is for babies." And then I yawned a little yawn. Then I crawled into my room, and Mummy said, "Who wants a story?" And I said, "Nobody." But she came into my room anyway, and we cuddled up and had my best story about fairies and cake. I yawned again, and I said very quietly, "Today was a big shouting day. Mummy, sorry." And she kissed me goodnight and said, "I know, we all have those days sometimes, but perhaps you'll be more cheerful tomorrow." And do you know what? I was cheerful all day long. So we do all sometimes have those big shouting days, but I think if we use our mindfulness that we're going to learn about from Mr. Morris, it could help us not to have these big shouting days. And I'll see you all soon. Bye.
Hello everyone, welcome back to your Monday Assembly. And I know Miss Florence has read you a book and she kind of spoke a little bit about mindfulness. So during this assembly we are going to have a look what mindfulness actually is. So, what is mindfulness? Have a little think to yourself. And we've got a definition up here. So mindfulness is the basic human ability to be fully present, aware of where we are and what we're doing, and not being overreactive to what's around us. So it's a great picture here where you can see you've got your mind full or mindful. So when your mind's full, like this picture here, you're thinking about everything that's going on around you. You're not actually thinking about what's happening right now, where you are, what you're doing. A lot of the time, you're focused on what you're having for dinner or what happened this morning. I know for myself, sometimes I'm at work and my mind will wander. I think, oh, what have I got to do later, or what have I got to do at the weekend? And you're not fully concentrating on what's right in front of you, what's present. And it's so important because you never take anything in what you're actually doing at that moment in time. So why is it important? Why is mindfulness important? So you can see here, there's so many different reasons. We've got you pay attention better, be less distractible, you can learn more, and that links into being less distracted. Stay calm under stress, avoid getting upset about certain things, so avoid getting too upset. Slow down instead of rushing. Listen better to others, be more patient, feel happier, enjoy things more, and it helps physical and mental well-being, which I know we spoke a lot about. So if you just look through a few of those points, you can see a lot of them are just about being able to concentrate and listen better, and that's because your mind is actually focused on what's going on right now. You're not thinking about what you're going to do later, you're not thinking about what happened this morning, you're not worried about anything other than what's happening now. So it gives you that concentration on the now. Practice makes perfect. So, I know myself, I'm not too good at this, and it is something I need to get better at. I find it really difficult to concentrate on what's happening right now and focusing on the present. So it just says here, we've got, the more you practice it, the better you will get. And that's like a lot of things in school. We say it all the time in PE. You're not just going to be able to pick up a ball and do 10 keepy-ups with a football straight away. It takes time. If you practice mindfulness exercises, being mindful can come naturally when you need it in your everyday life. So if you get to a point where you've practiced it so much, it actually happens naturally, and it means you won't need to think about, oh, I need to be mindful about this, I need to put certain things to the back of my mind. It will just happen naturally. It can help when you're stressed, when you have something difficult, or when you have to focus your attention. So if you have to do something difficult, you're always thinking about the what ifs and what could happen, what could go wrong. And all of that is just what if, it might never happen. So if I think about what might go wrong tonight, none of that might ever go wrong. So I could actually spend all this time worrying about something that's never ever going to happen. But if I focus on what's going on now, that is something I can control and something I can change. Remember, practice just makes perfect, and that's in so many things. And I will go through certain things you can practice to improve your mindfulness. Being in the present. So I spoke a little bit about this already. Why is it important? So it's a key factor to staying healthy and happy. It helps fight anxiety, cut down on your worrying, keeps you grounded and connected to everything around you. Again, there's so many times where you just focus on everything going on in the future, in the past, when you sometimes you go through your day not even actually taking in what you do, not really listening to other people, not doing the task that's been set to you with 100% because you're thinking about something else. It can make us happier, and it can also reduce our stress and decrease the impact of stress on our health. And it can help improve our ability to cope with negative emotions. So negative emotions are always going to be there. You can't go through life and never experience negative emotions. It's just one of the rubbish things that happen to everybody in life. But what you can do is you can have an ability to control that and almost have damage limitations on it, so it doesn't affect you as bad as it might have if you weren't practicing your mindfulness or living in the present. In short, it's just taking in what's around you. I know I keep saying it, but there's so many times where you will go for a day and not take in what's around you at all. A lot of our responses to situations and our actions which we just do unconsciously, we don't think about it. Some of our responses is just almost like a routine. When I reply to some people, I don't always think about what I'm going to say before I say it. Sometimes I do things just because I do it all the time, it's just a routine, and I almost go through the motions instead of actually thinking, what should I do here? What can I do here? Problems with living in the present. So why can it be difficult? So as always, I find it difficult because we've got here, you're encouraged to think about the future or dwell on our past. And you look through day to day, whether that's going for a walk or you're at home, you've got advertisements going on, and that makes you want something, and you can't have something there and then, so it makes you think of the future, I want that in the future. reminders, notification, messages, so that can all be on social media, that can be on your phones, that can be due to schoolwork, that can be friends. You're always thinking about something that's happening. Or if I was doing a task and my phone went, I would look at my phone. That again takes my focus off what's going on right now with my work, and I will move my focus towards that message, and it just distracts what's going on right now. It is thought that roughly 90% of our actions are performed without thinking, and our minds love to wander. So how many times do you set to do something and you start thinking about what's for dinner or what you want to do at the weekend? It happens to everybody. What we've got to try and practice is how can we kind of regain our focus on what's happening right now. Breathing for mindfulness. So this is almost like a little bit of meditation. I've got the instructions there which you can follow. So I will run through them very quickly and kind of just give you a brief explanation why they're there and why they're important. So to sit straight with your eyes shut and breathe naturally. So that's step one. That's just almost get yourself into a relaxing place. Start to focus on your breathing and concentrate how it feels. Remember, we concentrate on stuff to make sure we're actually focusing on it. So when we breathe normally, we don't think about it, it just happens. When we talk, we don't really think about it, it just happens. Breathe in and out and feel the air coming in and out of your body. Again, so you're just deepening that concentration. All your focus is actually on your breathing. So really, your mind should be nowhere else. It shouldn't be on what's for dinner or what's happening later. It should just be purely on your breathing. Repeat a word or phrase in your head as you are breathing. This will help your focus. So, for example, you could say, every time you breathe in, you could say in your head, breathe in. And again, that just makes your concentration even higher. If your mind starts to wander, then think of a word to restart your concentration. So it will start to wander, especially when you first start it. I try and concentrate quite a lot. I've tried meditation, I've tried yoga, and my mind would always go elsewhere. Sometimes it can happen when you're balancing. If you go on one leg and you really concentrate about it, it's more easy to do. It's a fact, it's more easy to do. But if you start thinking about something that happened in the morning or something else later or what you're going to watch on telly tonight, then it's harder because your mind is focused on other things. You're not actually focusing on getting that balance right. To start with, just try this for 5 minutes. And once time is up, say to yourself, I will be back, and then slowly open your eyes. And we've got a little diagram here just to run through. It does say 10 minutes up here, but again, practice makes perfect. 10 minutes is a long time to stay fully concentrating without taking anything in. Remember, try and do this in a quiet place. So if it's your bedroom or in the front room and no one's got the TV on or something like that, no one's around. And it's just, again, it's just to try and make you focus and just concentrate on what's happening right now. So last week I gave you 7 tasks focused around well-being and some other ones scattered in there. This week we have a few tasks which is focused on your mindfulness. Okay, so our first task is to make a gratitude list. So list 10 things that you are grateful for. So some of mine are my family and friends, my dog, the sun. I love the sun. Imagine if we never had any sun and it was dark all the time. It could be something as little as your mum making your breakfast. That's something you would be grateful for. Take a mindful walk. So go for a walk without headphones or your phone or anything like that. Make sure your parents go with you and actually focus on what's around you and kind of listen to your senses. So what you hear, what you see, what you smell, actually take it in. So when I take my dog for a walk, I don't use my headphones. I kind of just take in the weather and kind of just take in the environment and actually live in the now. Instead of listening to the music and just walking almost like a robot, you're actually listening and kind of seeing what's actually around you. Make dinner with your family. So this is just a challenge one, and it's something nice which you might not have done before. So can you help your family cook a meal? And if you do, let us know what you cook. Even if it's chopping up some vegetables or doing some butter or keeping an eye on the time, just try and get involved with some family tasks. Try some mindful breathing. So I've already kind of explained how you can do that on the previous slide. So make sure you give that a go. Like I say, even if you do 1 minute, see if you can do it, and then you can gradually build it up. Create your own bookmark. So I know you're all at home at the moment and you've all got a lot of work to do and you've got reading to do. So with this bookmark, what I want you to do is actually put a positive message on it, or do a picture or draw a picture which makes you feel positive, because you're going to be seeing that bookmark a lot, and every time you open that page you're going to have a positive message on there or a picture that makes you happy, and every time you do that it's going to put you in a good mindset for when you do your reading or your work. Participate in some mindfulness meditation. So here, it's just a great way to relax and be in a calm, quiet place, and again, just switch off from everything that's around you and all your worries. I have put a link here which I will link on Seesaw, so you can click it, and it's fantastic. You can do it on your own, you can do it with your family. Give it a go. I think it's about 10 minutes, and again, just make sure you're in a nice, quiet, relaxing place so you can really get the most out of it. And our 7th task is colouring a picture. And again, this links to mindfulness, so you know when you're colouring or drawing, that is what you're concentrating on. So I want you to try and use positive colours, so colours that you like and they make you happy, and really concentrate on it. So make it difficult, and make sure you have to focus on it. So make sure you're drawing something which is difficult. Make sure you're really trying to do your neatest colouring in, if you choose to do some colouring. And remember, see if you can do all of these, and then you can do 1 a day, or you can do 2 on some days, you can do 4 on a day if you can, and then send it in to your teachers on Seesaw and let us know how you got on. One final little challenge I want you to do is, again, I've got another version of a picture here. I want you to draw a similar picture. So I want you to draw what happens when your mind is full and when you're being mindful. So remember, mindful is when you've got loads of going on in your head. So you've got here, you've got social media, you've got emails, you've got work, you've got family, you've got loads of stuff going on in there. And what's happening here? This person isn't seeing what's around them. This person is being mindful, and that is what they see. So they are just seeing what is around them. They are living in the now and the present. And you can see it. I'd much rather my brain like that than like that. So I want you to draw your picture. What distracts you? And I want you to draw what doesn't distract you, what makes you calm in that. And again, you can send that into Seesaw, and I look forward to seeing it all. And that is it for this week's assembly. Like I say, let us know how you get on. Really try them techniques, and it's something that you can keep up. And remember, practice makes perfect. So take care, everyone, and I will see you soon.